I'm going to take you back to 1979. The country was in its second fuel crisis of the decade, and Ford thought, we need to build a cheap, efficient vehicle. Ford's market research said that the country was ready for a two-seat automobile. We get the EXP. Ford wanted a part of the youth market at the time. The thinking was that if you got someone into a Ford early on and they liked the car, when they got a family and circumstances changed, they would buy another Ford. Ford expected to sell 200,000 EXPs in 1982 and another 70,000 LN7s. So to see how that worked out for them, let's get started.
Time now. Place, any road, USA. Action, creation of a new personal sport coupe, Ford EXP. The bringing together of you and a beautiful package of world-class technologies. An interior thoughtfully contoured for your driving pleasure, carefully instrumented to keep you informed. With handling and road command that come from front-wheel drive and four-wheel independent suspension. And EXP's a 2+, personal, practical, with room for 2+ your gear, room for 2+, a lot of room for a lot of living, with a shape so subtle it slices the wind. And built with Ford's commitment to quality. Tomorrow is here, the 1982 EXP from the world of Ford.
The first production Ford EXP and Mercury LN7 both rolled off the assembly line on February 16, 1981 as 1982 models. The 1982 EXP was a unibody construction with front-wheel drive and four-wheel independent suspension. At 50 inches tall and 14 feet long, the EXP was longer, lower, and sportier than the North American Escort. However, performance wasn't what this car was about. The EXP weighed 200 pounds more than the Escort it was based on, but carried the same 70 horsepower 1.6-liter engine and a standard 4-speed MTX manual transaxle. The March 1981 issue of Car and Driver reported that their EXP with a manual transmission attained 44 miles per gallon on the highway. Ford advertised 46 miles per gallon highway and 29 miles per gallon city. Both the EXP and LN7 had sharply sloped windshields, wheel arches, and wide body side moldings. The EXP's minimalist grille consisted of 2 horizontal slots on the sloped front panel, while the LN7 had 10 slots. The biggest difference was the rear hatch. The EXP used a lift-up hatch with flat glass, similar to the Mustang, while the LN7 used a hatch with a large bubble-back glass, similar to the Mercury Capri. Priced higher than the Escort, the EXP came with much more standard equipment. It included power brakes, full instrumentation, full carpeting, map lighting, electric back window defroster, power hatchback release, a digital clock, a cargo area security shade, and rims that were noticeably wider than those of the Escorts. Models with manual transmissions had a sport-tuned exhaust. Options included floor vents, power steering, air conditioning, AM/FM radio, cruise control, roof luggage rack, rear window wiper, a removable sunroof, a right-hand mirror, TRX tires and suspension, a child seat, and various seat styles and fabrics. In March 1982, an 80-horsepower high-output version of the 1.6-liter engine became available. It had higher compression, a dual-inlet air cleaner, had a lower restriction exhaust, larger carburetor, and a higher lift camshaft. 98,256 Ford EXPs and 35,147 LN7s were built for the 1982 model year. For the 1983 model year, Ford offered buyers an electric, multi-port fuel-injected 1.6-liter for its EXP GT and LN7, making the EXP the first car Ford offered that option on in the U.S. market. The ECC4 or EEC4 computer was added on to the existing HO engine. It now produced 88 horsepower. Also new was a 5-speed manual transmission option. The shifter was moved rearwards, while the automatic shifter dropped the unusual dogleg pattern in favor of the more common straight line arrangement. The gas tank was enlarged to 13 US gallons. There were no other notable changes to the exterior aside from new wheel options. Ford delivered 19,697 EXPs and 4,528 LN7s for the 1983 model year. 1984 sees the sunset of the LN7. Its sales numbers were entirely too disappointing for Ford, so it was dropped. Ford was trying hard to conquer the youth market, and so the new EXP Turbo Coupe was built by Ford's Special Vehicle Operations. The turbocharged 1.6-liter engine featured a high-lift camshaft and EEC4 electronic controls and boost pressure up to 8 pounds per square inch. Horsepower was raised to 120 and torque came in at 120 foot-pounds. The turbo model also got Yukon shocks, stiffer springs, lower ride height, improved brakes, and Michelin TRX tires. The car ran from 0 to 60 in 9 seconds and crossed the quarter mile with a time of 16.9 at 82 miles per hour. The turbo had a unique front air dam, rear deck lid spoiler with taped turbo badges on the rear bumper. It also had two-tone paint with a black lower section, a unique C-pillar applique featuring the EXP lettering, black wheel flares, and black rocker panel moldings. Little else changed across the EXP lineup, and Ford sold 23,016 EXPs in 1984. 1985 was mostly a carryover year. That was until mid-year when a newly refreshed EXP arrived on the scene. Now, how it came to be is a very different story in the history of Ford model refreshes. A group of Ford's assembly employees took an EXP off the line and fitted it with parts from the new updated 85.5 Escort. This was presented to Ford CEO Donald Peterson, who liked it so much that he approved it for production as an 85.5 model. Officially renamed the Ford Escort EXP, the second generation EXP adopted much of the bodywork from the standard Ford Escort, sharing its flush-mounted headlamps and amber turn signals. The Escort EXP was given a model-specific front bumper with an integrated air dam and its own grille. The rear bodywork remained largely the same, with the exception of the Mercury's LN7 bubble hatch becoming standard. The interior of the EXP was also redesigned to match the rest of the Ford Escort line. Ford built 26,462 EXPs for the 1985 model year.
This is an expose on the new Ford Escort EXP. Expressive. Expansive. Experience a new form of two-seat excitement. Ford Escort EXP. Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
For 1986, 87, and 88, the EXP saw little changes. Two models were produced over this time frame: the luxury coupe, which was equipped with low back cloth seats borrowed from the standard Ford Escort, AM/FM stereo radio, overhead console, left remote mirror, a tachometer and trip odometer. The powertrain was the 1.9-liter inline-4 with a 2-barrel carburetor, making 90 horsepower. For 1987 and 88, the 1.9-liter engine was equipped with a throttle body fuel injection while still making 90 horsepower. The second model introduced in 86 was the Ford Escort EXP Sports Coupe. It was fitted with components from the Ford Escort GT, including the suspension, brake upgrades, sport bucket seats, a center console, 15-inch alloy wheels, dual electric mirrors, and fog lamps. The Sport Coupe powertrain was the 106 horsepower version of the 1.9-liter engine, equipped with Marty port fuel injection. In 1987, the output was increased to 115 horsepower. In 1987 and 1988, Ford delivered a combined little over 56,000 cars. 1988's sales figures are a little muddied because they mixed the EXP sales numbers into the Escort. But I can tell you, they weren't that great. The EXP tried to compete with the Fiero and the MR2, but it wasn't that type of car. It wasn't a sporty, great handling car. It was more of an efficient, inexpensive vehicle to buy and to own. And while there may have been a market for a two-seater at that time, the EXP wasn't the answer. The biggest problem with the EXP, and I sold cars in 87 and 88, I worked at a Ford dealership. The biggest problem, and the thing that was standing in the way of the EXP becoming successful, was the Escort GT. This was a car that had the same performance factors, maybe even a little bit better because it was lighter, but it also had 2 rear seats. And if you didn't need the 2 rear seats, the Escort seats folded down flat. So why would you spend more on a car that could do less? At the beginning of the video, I talked about how Ford wanted to sell 200,000 EXPs and another 70,000 LN7s. If you took all the years combined that they produced these vehicles, it adds up to about those numbers, about 270,000. It wasn't a bad car. It just wasn't a sports car. And if you're going to make a two-seater, it better be sporty. So if you like cars from this time frame, maybe check out this video over here. It's on the MN12 Thunderbird. I go over everything about that car, the Super Coupe. Probably heard of them. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. That way other people see it. That's how YouTube works. Also, if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. There's plenty of it on the channel. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you.